Hey guys, welcome back for another vlog. ChrisAnastasii. Today I'm going to just be putting you guys through a bit of viewing of what I do pre-workout wise. I'll do this probably about 4 or 5 times a week. It's my pre-workout routine. Mobility, myofascial release, stretching and rolling around. As you can see now for the start, I get on the roller and here I'm just rolling out my lats, my rhomboids, my scapula. Putting pressure on certain parts. I'll fast forward this video part here just to get through a little bit, but right here, I'm working areas in my glutes that are really sore that I find, and it's like the glute medius at the top there, and the tensor fascia latae, which I think I just googled up kind of before to find out what they were called. But I find that when I do squat and I do deadlift a lot, I get really tight in the kind of the glute area, but higher up on the side here. So I just simply roll around and find sore spots, which help me kind of loosen them up. And don't forget, guys, the importance about stretching, the myofascial release stuff and mobility stuff is purely injury prevention and longevity. And also don't forget, it's like an elastic band. If you're going to pull something along the elastic band or hurt something, it's going to put strain on other things. And I find a lot of guys and girls will get knee pains from squatting, or they'll get hip pains from deadlifting, and that comes from areas being tight and loading up other areas. So here, guys, I'm moving on to some calf, some just calf rolling, which it's painful. Look at my face; it really hurts. And I'm rolling through the calf or the soleus right on the bottom, and the gastrocnemius, which is the calf, which means calf, and it's the inside medial and the outside lateral. So I just move around, and as you can see here, I'm rolling it, just kind of shaking it on the ball, on the roller. Yeah, but literally, and yeah, do it right side and left side. I'm not going to put both sides on, and I'm doing a bit of hammy rolling here, but just find areas in your body that hurt, that are a bit tense, and concentrate on them. Okay, again now, this is again on the foam roller. This is a good Achilles stretcher, and that's right there. It's the soleus. I find the soleus, it gets a bit tight for me personally, due to my squatting volume and frequency, and deadlifting volume and frequency. So I find that and also my calf work, I do it 2-3 times a week, and it gets really tight in there. So I like to roll it out. As you can see, I'm moving it back and forth just to find different areas in the calf and the Achilles, whatever you want to call it. Painful. It just literally, guys, when you're doing this kind of work, just find spots that hurt and just work them hard. Okay, this is the part where I'm going to put up the picture of where I'm working right now. So you see the top there, the gluteus medius, and also the tensor fascia latae. That's the areas that I get really tired in, especially from squatting and deadlifting a lot. So I try and find them. As you can see on the roller here, I'm finding those areas, and now I'm moving on to my quads and like the fascia muscle down the side of the quad, which gets really tight, and my vastus lateralis and vastus medialis in the middle. So I'm just finding just areas in my quad that are a bit sore and a bit tender, and just roll them out. And now work my VM. See the VM in there, right? It's called the T-drop. And then I sit on my groin for a little bit, just give it a pressure in the groin area. And for this, guys, I do I do both sides. I think in the video I didn't put the other side, did I? Actually, yeah, I did, and I've sped it up a little bit just to get through it. But again, I'm working the gluteus medius and the tensor, which is at the top there of the glute, and also the fascia down the side here. Which the fascia is important to roll out, because don't forget, guys, it's a tissue that connects your knee, on the side of your knee to your hips. So if it's going to be tight, then you're putting a lot of strain on your knees and hips. Okay, guys, now I'm moving on to a bit of stretching in that, and this stuff I'm doing it half a dozen times for this kind of 90-degree feel, and this is just for my lower back, and then I open my legs for half a dozen times. This is probably one of my favorite lower back kind of stretches here. Gets a few cracks in there and gets a good stretch. So the first one was 90 degrees, second one leg straight, and now this one, the windmill or whatever you want to call it, just kicking around the corner. this gives you, you know, in the erectors and the rhomboids in there, gives it a good stretch out, gives it a good warm up. Yeah, stretching it now. Give it a nice hold. It's about probably, you know, 8 to 10 seconds each side here. And so, you know, the importance about, you know, my stretching in that is, you know, before my workouts, I find that it just loosens me up and it allows me to go hard from the start and, you know, still doing my warm-ups through my sets. But it's something that I've been doing probably for a good, you know, 6 or plus months now since I got more into the powerlifting style training. So my training now is predominantly pound strength with hypertrophy thrown in there as well. And here, guys, you know, I'm just, it's a thoracic mobility here, just my back. Give me a good stretch. And again, so my hands are more forward and just slowly working into the big, the more of a bend. And don't jerk, guys. Just be smooth in your stretching and your movements. And when I started off, you know, I never went for this long. It was literally, you know, maybe 5 or so minutes, and I worked the way up because it was painful and sore. And again, here, guys, a thoracic mobility stretch, and I start in about the middle of my back, and I work it down. But I've come to a stage where, you know, I prioritize my stretching, my mobility, and my myofascial release work because I've seen what it's done for me, and it's helped me, you know, probably recover faster and also get stronger faster, where I'm not missing workouts through injury or strains or little niggly things. And when I train now, you know, it's just all about nailing out your program and your protocol and getting in there. And if you can get in there, you know, 6-7 days a week, then beauty. This is some reverse windmills again. I really enjoy this. You know, I kind of enjoyed the whole routine. For me, it's the first, like I said, 10-15 minutes before my workout, and I get in here and do this, and you know, it gets me zoned in and it gets me kind of warmed up. It's a good stretch in the back. A nice stretch there. And now, for this one, guys, really, it's just a rhomboid, like a back stretch. It's a bit of a twist in there. For this one, I reach straight out and I do both sides, and then again, I for the next style of it, I'll put my hand towards my ankles way. But yeah, I find this gives it a good stretch, different angle, different feeling, and try and over exaggerate, like my head, trying to put my head through my arm and find that spot and sit on your delt on the floor. So yeah, now another good stretch out here, and I get into a cat pose here, and you know, really press it up. And this is just a bit of a finisher, but I think it's called the cat pose. It's a yoga thing, I think. So yeah, this feels really good to finish it up, just in the back there. Again, guys, this is another exercise that I forgot to do earlier, but I threw it in now to show you. It helps open up your hips. It's a hip opener, hip stretch. It's a bit of you can feel in your hammy a little bit, but it works your hips as well prominently. And for the first variation, you know, my hands were neck inside of my foot. For this one hand's on the outside of my foot. I'll show you a different angle now, so you can see exactly how, you know, how it looks on this side. So hands on the side, back straight. You know, look up if you feel you get a bit better stretch in your glutes. But it's like pushing with your knee at the back there, pushing your hip forward. Let your knee sit on the ground and push your hip forward. And for this one, the arm on the hand on the outside. And for me, when I first started doing this, you know, I had to find. I was trying different exercises, different stretchings. Oh yeah, here's as I was stretching, Josh sent me this. It's funny how it's come to a stage now on Instagram that. You know, I am Pop-Tarts, bruv. You know, I've been having Pop-Tarts for a long time now, and I was getting questioned before about, you know, my consumption of Pop-Tarts and, you know, how I can be lean and this and that, and making accusations that I was on this and that. But, guys, I'm a flexible dieter, IFYM, and it's all about moderation and hit your macros. And yeah, this exercise here before was a bit of a groin stretcher, now into a hip, sorry, not hip, a glute stretcher. I'm playing with my phone still. I'll show you in a second. I got a message, oh, not a message, I got a like an Instagram notification. As I was stretching, I got quite a few notifications about, you know, people trying Pop-Tarts over the weekend and tagging me and stuff like that, which, you know, it's fantastic to see. But like I said, guys, be mindful, you know. I hit my fiber, I hit my micros, my phytonutrients, I have my 2 to 4 pieces of fruits a day, my veg, my salad, etc. But I allocate 20-30% of my calories to flexibility, to whatever I like. And that way it's sustainable. I don't have cheat meals, I don't go on binges, I just stay consistent year round now. In the end, you know, it's all about knowledge. Knowledge is power. Here you go, I'll show you another notification I got while I was stretching then. This is live. DJK Fitness. Danny. I think Danny competed last week in an AMB comp. Well done, Danny. Good work, buddy. You look great. Thumbs up. Emoji. These are my balls that I use. One's just a lacrosse ball. It's nice and hard. It's perfect size. I love using it. The other one's like it's got beads on it, like an arse bead, whatever it is. So I use that sometimes as well, just get a bit deeper. But as you can see, guys, I just sit on my glute, and just roll it around and find areas that are tender, that are sore, that are tight. And here I'm just putting more pressure on it. The more pressure you do, at the start when I first started doing this, I'll literally just sit on it, just like a feather. It was really sore and tender, but now I can kind of put my whole 94 kilos that I am on it. It is painful, but find spots that hurt and work them hard. So on this, you know, I work the right glute and I put my foot up here, I'm against the wall to really nail it. But yeah, guys, I've done the, you know, the right glute, the left glute. Just spend time on each glute and find areas that hurt and work them. And after, you know, I've done each side, I'll put the beady thing there as well and give it a bit of roll. That's a bit more intense. It's a bit more deeper. Especially up high on my glute, that's where I get sore. So I sit on there for a little bit as well. Alright, guys, the lacrosse ball on my scapula now. That's another area that, you know, I try rolling out, because, you know, a lot of people get scapular and trap pains and all that, and, you know, sometimes I get tight, sometimes I don't, but I just stick to my rolling. And I, you know, roll one side, roll the other. Literally put the ball in your back and just roll around and find spots that hurt and just pop them, crack them a little bit, whatever. Yeah, right, left side, and now I'm on my delt. Yeah, the posterior delt gets really tight, you know, especially the little pull movements. So yeah, like just rolling your delts, you know, on the posterior, just get in there and just, you know, find spots that are tender and work them. I think coming up now, there's another exercise that I do this, you know, not all the time, but yeah, sorry, I put the lacrosse ball on my chest. This is something that I don't do all the time, but when I do, especially the incline in my chest, in the middle part, it gets, you know, it's really, I don't know, it's weird. It's just a weird feeling. It feels, it's a different pain. It's like a something that you don't get from rolling your glutes or your hammies and all that. But yeah, it feels good, and just, you know, don't put too much pressure, just a little bit, and then just roll it around and find those knots in there. Guys, again, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for commenting and liking. A lot more to come from Iron Lifestyle. So guys, thank you again. Subscribe to the channel, comment, like. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your comments. ChrisAnastasii checking out.